is Green Bay a little bit worried? Because Matt LaFleur said, in the wide receiver room, every time I'm told I don't have a number one or whatever, I want to vomit.
Yeah.
Oh. I want to absolutely vomit whenever people keep bringing this up to me. What does he mean by that, Ty? And how do you feel about the conversation that I didn't even know was taking place around the Green Bay Packers is they don't have any wide receivers. It's like, so this is the conversation every year, or do we forget that all these dudes are like in their first and second year and are dogs and have proven to be dogs and have played in a lot of very important games and have kind of already matured? I guess they're just not household names. Is that why?
Yeah, I suppose. I think it's just the way the NFL is right now with how much certain receivers are getting on their contracts. Like you look, I mean, like, yeah, the Packers don't have like a $30 to $35 million guy on their roster, but they're like legitimately 5 to 6 deep. Like it's actually going to be very interesting to see like which cuts they make because they have a bunch of guys. Like even last year, like in week 18 against the Bears and this game against the Vikings, like they were bringing guys up from the practice squad who ended up having like 6 catches and scoring touchdowns. Like they have guys who they'll rotate every year. But yeah, they're super young. Romeo Doubs, I think, would be like the number one guy if you had to say targets. That. Yeah, exactly. Most targets. But Jaden Reed was unbelievable last year. Christian Watson, if he can stay healthy, has like the attributes to be a number one guy. But it doesn't matter. I mean, Jordan Love was very good at spreading the ball around to everyone last year. And I think that's actually like when Rodgers left, like that was kind of what hampered him a little bit was the year with Devontae. It was basically like, hey, if Devontae doesn't have 12, 13 catches a game and like 2 touchdowns, like we're not getting much production from anywhere else. But last year it was like death by 1,000 cuts. You'd have 4 different guys who'd have 5 or 6 catches, and that's why they were so successful. And in terms of just like the Bears and everything, listen, Jordan Love had 1 possession last week. He threw 2 passes. He threw a 65-yard touchdown.
Ooh,
so
to who, though? He doesn't have anybody.
Dontavian Wicks, who is a guy who, no one's talking about, but that's what, D-Butt was saying. Like, hey, if this guy's going to be, like, their 3rd or 4th receiver, he's going to get a lot of favorable matchups this year. So I think they're in a perfect spot. Yeah, you obviously would love to have a guy like Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, but I did see that it wasn't pinpoint
I don't
perfect.
know.
A little behind him.
I don't know.
He had to turn his shoulder.
I don't know. That was kind of right in the number.
Oh, you said he looked the safety off?
Looked the safety off, third down.
Oh, he was worried he couldn't put it in between a safety and a
Boom,
ball.
that's a dot. That's a dot. So, no, I wouldn't say the Packers are too worried. But, yeah, they definitely don't have, like, a bona fide number one receiver. But they have a bunch of guys who I think your Packers fans are comfortable on 3rd down. Like, hey, this is a guy who can definitely go and get them a 1st down. So, no, not worried. But obviously, like, you look at Chicago's receiving room, and, like, it is stacked with, like, household names and guys we know. But I assume that the Packers are kind of going to make that jump this year with several of the guys that they have.
Yeah, let's go through. Obviously, Jordy.
Yep.
Donald.
Yep.
Devontae.
James Jones, there for a little bit.
Randall Cobb.
Yep.
Cobber.
Quarterback from Kentucky comes out and becomes punt return extraordinaire and 3rd down receiver.
Opening kickoff for a touchdown on his first play in the NFL.
Dog in those eyes.
Yeah.
So cool.
Oh, my God. Pierce through your soul.
They really do.
Yeah.
They really do. What a legend. Congrats on a great career. He said he's not done?
I think he like officially retired.
He did TV. Somebody like took a TV job or a media job, and then they announced his retirement, and then he was, I don't remember if it was Cobb or not.
Yeah, they announced that he retired, and he said, hold up. He said, I'm taking a TV job, but if someone reaches out, I'm still open to the idea of playing.
All right, if you don't play ever again, though, Cobb, hell of a job.
Unbelievable.
Hell of a job well done for what you did to, the sport as a whole. That whole, because you go through, the Packers aren't known. That was the big conversation about Aaron.
Yeah.
It's like, when did you ever spend a 1st-round pick on a weapon? Guys are 1st-rounders because they run 4.4s and they run 4.3s, and they're big. That's like a lot of the reason that people are up there. If you are big, fast, strong, doesn't matter how, great your college season was. Gonna have to be good. But if you get to that combine and you just, what is this? You're probably gonna get taken more early than the other, just because the coaches think they can get the best out of you. That size, that speed, can't coach that, let's do that. So that's why the conversation of them never spending a 1st-rounder on a weapon was a question. But it seems like the Green Bay Packers have eyes on who can become a good quarter or wide receiver and spend their assets other ways and develop them. It's like that's kind of been the Packers since the beginning.
Oh yeah, and they've always found the guys and like Devontae Adams, coming out where he was in the draft. Like he wasn't a guy that was expected to be like a Jamar Chase coming out. But the wide receivers, they come in kind of all different shapes. Even Justin Jefferson, like he didn't run a 4.3 40. He didn't do anything special at the combine, but obviously he's been productive. And to the point about the Packers receivers, you do want a guy to ultimately emerge and be like, okay, this is the go-to guy that we want in the big-time situations. But to your point, like he spreads it around, so that's tougher on the defense when it's 3rd and 5 and we can't say, all right,
who we shading?
One double Devontae, we take him out, make somebody else beat us. When you have all these different weapons and you have a quarterback who's willing to throw to everybody, so now you have the receivers and the effort on every route is going to be full speed because they want to take advantage of every target. So I'm excited about this really second year with Jordan Love and his wide receiver crew.
How are LaFleur's eyebrows this year? Good?
Pinpoint.
So
Pinpoint.
sweet.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that graphic with the shades he had on, holy shit.
Not a hair out of place.
He is just
Oh, yeah. He's a good-looking cat.
He is.
He is.
And he looks so cool on a sideline when he's getting the crowd.
I don't love that, but, but you live with that. I don't love that, but you live with that.
I mean, the
What do you
crowd
mean?
gets going, dude.
Oh! Is this year's headshot?
Look at the hairline.
That's straight out of training camp. Look at this guy.
Perfect tan.
I know.
Man, they got some cool coaches in the NFC North. Talk
Dude.
about Flus and that. Obviously, MCDC.
They talked about that on Hard Knocks with the barber, the whole thing, song and dance.
Yeah.
His hair looks very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks
Showed him a photo of Ryan Reynolds. Said, hey, make it happen, bitch.
And to the barber's credit,
He
He did.
we didn't expect it.
Nope.